Hi, it's Miles Red Songbird in New York. I'm going to read this little piece from the Conservative Tribune. It said, Adjunct Professor of Criminal Justice at Virginia Commonwealth University, Matt C. Pinkster said, Democrats will not push for photo ID requirements to vote because they benefit most from voter fraud. Anybody paying attention knows that's true. Alright, so I think I'm going to call this piece The End of Death, and I talk about it at the end of the piece. Only the pure in heart shall see God. Detached souls are those called pure in heart. They are not attached to much, so their heart is pure. You can only go back to the ocean of light if you have no baggage. It's all light. Fame. I'm gonna live forever. I'm gonna learn how to fly. I flew as an airline stewardess. Remember my name. People will see me. Okay, behind every great man, there's a great woman. You've heard that saying. Michael Bublé and Blake Shelton fell in love with Eve, became her, lived her dream, becoming singing sensations. She was left behind. They don't even remember her. They sing in Bublé's song Home, which is heaven ordered mirror for Eve. Okay? I feel like I'm living someone else's life. That's the line in the song Home. They're living Eve's dream. They're living Eve's life. If 1, Mrs. Jones, 2, Eve's mother hadn't destroyed her belief in her ability to achieve her dream, singing and dancing. 3, her Aunt Donnie undermined her effort to continue studying piano and writing alone. So, and then the part about her dream being busted for singing and dancing, she explains, in Mr. Gray's minstrel show, Helen, my sister, was a star. I was in the back row. In Burnt High School marching band, Helen was a star, the head majorette, because she had fat yellow thighs. That was considered a thing of beauty in the 50s. She couldn't throw the baton up and catch it and twirl it like Margot Harlan had done previously. I was tall and skinny. I marched in the back row, never a threat to Helen. So she let me be a part, the shitty part, but it was a joke. Better than having no part to play. Joke. Judas, okay. Eve. Helen being Judas. Behind every great man, there's a great woman. Edwin Took My Work, What It Is, was the name of the album we did together. Norma Pinella said, your songs are movies. She was saying they were and are stories. Ted Cooper used my writing, but he said, they're not songs. No, they were stories with characters from the black community. I had been Pran Kumar Sharma, the Walt Disney of India, in my past life. The work I did on that vintage album, What It Is, and one of the songs on his second album, Supernatural, the song was called Tunes from Callicoon, is evidence that I haven't lost my ability over time and space. Songs from What It Is. Number 1, The Uncle Tom Gang. Number 2, Mr. Moneyman. Number 3, It Ain't No Fun Being a Welfare Recipient, are stories with characters from the black community. The songs My Father Preaches That God is the Father of Us All and when a newborn baby is born, the world gets one more chance, are proof that I can write song lyrics. The song God's Home is a story of the ocean of light, bliss. Note, Guru Govinda Singh Ji has closed the ocean of light because he found his disciples were insincere ego trippers, using their acceptance as an excuse to look down their noses on the homeless, even if they were going to God's home. The saint Govinda Singh, predecessor, said, "Our friends are those going to the same place we are." Yet when I had been homeless and I went to a meeting where people I had known for 40 years and had presumed were still my friends, were all returning to the because we were all returning to the ocean of light, wouldn't look at me, talk to me, certainly not give me what I came there for, a hug. Govinda Singh Ji, my mother, father, brother, teacher, spiritual teacher, entertainer, spiritual guide, who is also inside me, he's omnipresent, felt the same pain I felt: shame, humiliation, incredulousness, hurt, embarrassment. Govinda Singh proved his deep and great love for me, to me. He closed the ocean of bliss, of light. Govinda Singh Ji, he's taking nobody back. They will all live out eternity here. He also pulled my eyes to him. Physically, I saw this. I was amazed. He was marrying me and impregnating me with twins. His predecessor and an RN mother who'd been left behind by her son, Fountain Jr. Fountain Jones Jr., who worked closely with Govinda Singh as his techie, as a reward for the time Fountain was in college, when he stopped by my house to check on me and the kids as the album What It Is had been released, and Edwin was never home. He was in Manhattan. We lived in Hollis, Queens. So he was in Manhattan with groupies making babies and hanging out with his new friends and family, Stevie Wonder, his brothers Calvin and Milton, girlfriend Yolanda, and their baby Aisha, and his mother, Mrs. Lulu Hardaway. Her heart went away when her husband, Steve's father, made her a hoe, and he was a pimp. When our second child, Robin, was born, Edwin was in Philadelphia making a baby. He had a following in Philly and Washington, D.C. Over 100,000 people were in attendance in D.C. at a rally when Edwin played piano and sang. It ain't no fun being a welfare recipient. Celebrities like Riff Raff, Jesse Jackson was there. Mrs. Coretta Scott King, former opera singer, was there. Eugene McCarthy, who was running for president, and Gloria Steinem, the founder of Ms. Magazine, when feminism was a happening attitude. Some of the people I remember seeing. Edwin's photo at the piano, and all those people, a sea of people attending to him, was on the cover of the New York Times when it was still a respected newspaper by most. The influence of Pran Kumar Sharma in my mind is also evidenced by a fairly recent work of art, a children's moral tale in book form. I came up with the idea for the book and the characters based on my past experiences. It took me 3 years of begging my daughter Robin to work with me. I respected her as a writer. I didn't know at the time that she had been Dr. Seuss. The book is called Sneezy the Greasy Babysits Abigail. Abigail was drawn, she's on the cover, by our genius illustrator T.J. Robshaw, from a photo of my granddaughter Jandara Ranziger, who was my mother, Korean Beatrice Crowder, Miss Frog, a projection of Babaji. You guessed it, Govinda Singh Ji. Jesus Christ. That's why I say he was my father. My mother had been described as the most beautiful lady ever to have lived in Clarksville, Tennessee, colored or white. She never agreed that she was black or African. Let me backtrack. During the momentous meeting in North Carolina, Babaji said, "You missed your chance." I was horrified. Was he talking about when Manira Smith, disciple and wife of Tony Smith, drummer for Lou Reed, was looking past me? Manira had been a close friend. Oh, looking. I decoded it. Let's see what it says. There it is. It says, Will, L for will, O for order, will order, OK, King of the Cosmos, Govinda Singh Ji. I, Jesus Christ. I, Jesus Christ. That's Govinda Singh was Jesus Christ. Mama had been a close friend of mine. Manira, oh my goodness, not Mama. Manira had been a close friend of mine, or so I thought. But she was not looking at me. Was this some sort of horror movie I'm in? I wondered. She said to Nancy Bush, gross. Babaji said those who came on buses can come up to the front. We came on buses. After she left and went back to her seat near the front, I said to Nancy, should we try to find seats near the front? Nancy, who had asked me if I bathed, I had washed after riding the bus for 12 hours at the facility they had in the building. She had an attitude of irritation and disdain when she asked me the question. She knocked all self-confidence that had come to the right place out of me, a place of loving friends, Satsangis, disciples of the perfect living master. I knew I had washed. Still, I had an urge to sniff my underarms to make sure I hadn't missed a spot or two or three. Did I stink? Why did she ask me such a question? Stink. Saint Tinker. Smell. Question mark. Saint Ink. On the brink of saying, what the hell is going on? I was becoming frustrated, waiting to be acknowledged as belonging here with these well-off Satsangis. My daughter Robin excused them later on the phone by saying I was their worst nightmare, homelessness. But I wasn't homeless at the time. I had been homeless. Even when I was on the street, I hadn't neglected washing. I would wash up along with other homeless women in the bathroom at Penn Station or McDonald's. Then when I found out about Main Chance and Oliveri's walk-in centers for the homeless, where you could sleep with your head on a table and your feet on the floor as you sat sleeping in a chair, they have showers. And after being sent to church beds, my favorite was Friends Seminary, where my 3 children went to school. They have plenty of hot and fresh food, even for a lacto-vegetarian homeless person like myself, as well as pleasant chit-chat from the volunteers, clean beds, and a place to wash up. All the volunteers at all the church beds were magnificent human beings. They didn't have a snobby, biased bone in their bodies. They put the Satsangis who were supposed to be damn near perfect to shame. That's why Govinda Singh told them, you missed your chance. You will never go to the ocean of light, of bliss. I have closed it. Gurinder Singh closed the Ocean of Light. He wasn't talking to me. He was talking to Linda Zitelli, Nancy Bush Gross, Manira Smith, and Fountain Jones Jr. I turned Fountain onto the path, yet when I asked him to give Gurinder Singh a small package for me, he said, "If I do that for you, I'll have to do it for everybody." Wow, Eve ordered. Oh, let's see, what's this? Everyone. Eve, eternal, her, I ordered in eternity. Wow, Eve ordered in eternity, writing everlasting bliss exists. In the song God's Home, which to tweak it, it's I talk and share, physical heaven on earth. Eve stopped death, desist, eating and becoming dead. You are what you eat. Fountain thought better of putting himself above me, so he said he would send the man to me who could get the small package to Babaji. Okay, what do we got here? Send. See end. Eve. Nietzsche dead. Okay, she saw her friends were dead. Just say dead to her. The small package. Present angel conscious canon. I am conscious of my children's ages, stages. See? Angel good looks. Eternal saving grace. Good race. Good taste. Great face. Babaji is going to provide age reversal for the Holy Royal family members, and age stops for them also, as a reward for accepting abuse, some for lifetimes, while living the truth. Transform Ruth. Queen Elizabeth II will leave the stage and soon to take birth as a child of the first Black Queen of England, Robin Birdsong, who was once Queen Victoria, and Albert Prince Consort, Earl Percy, George Percy. Not only was Gurinder Singh Ji, Jesus Christ, King of Kings, talking to Eve Evangeline Einstein when he said, "You missed your chance," she, after having found the courage to order as a daughter of the Supreme Being, the Sun, eternity, to begin, as Einstein, she has found the answers to the questions that prevented eternity, heaven on earth, from beginning before now. With talk and share practice and guided meditation, we can achieve peace of mind and past life births for those who care to know who they were in the past. Eve is amazed how Gurinder Singh has guided her to achieve the highest achievement, the first female Jesus Christ equivalent. Eve's husband, Dr. Jordan Peterson, when he was Dr. Carl Jung, describes Jesus as an archetypical perfect man that makes Eve the archetypical perfect woman thrice over. She was a martyr, not just for a few days on a cross, but for billions of years without losing her inherent goodness, inherited from her father, the Sun, and protected by her mother, father, brother, Gurinder Singh Ji, who has agreed to stay with her as her brother for eternity in heaven on earth. Now that is the best news I could have received. I think that's the end. Is that the end? Let's see. Yeah, that's it. It said, Mama cowed Helen from beating me up. Yeah, my mother, who, like I said, took my desire to to sing and dance away from me by saying I couldn't do them and taking my confidence about them. She trained my sister, who was older and bigger than me, never to hit me. So, because I appreciate her doing that, so I didn't get beat up in childhood all the time. And by my mother taking away the lesser achievements, singing and dancing, and then took writing and public speaking away from me, my confidence about that. These things were lesser achievements than being the first female Jesus Christ equivalency. So I understand why they did it now, and I have no hard feelings. I'm grateful that they didn't let me get bogged down in lesser accomplishments and guided me to have the biggest accomplishment one can achieve, and that is being equal to Jesus Christ, as a female particularly. It's Mild Red Songbird in New York. I'll talk to you again soon.